Recently, I've been watching some Hikaru no Go, and it basically starts off with a schoolboy called Hikaru touching a Go board and having a 1000-year-old spirit of a passionate Go player enter his mind. Despite Hikaru himself having no interest whatsoever in Go, the spirit, called Sai, eventually convinces him to go to the local Go center where he could play a game through telling Hikaru where to place the stones. However, because Hikaru was a complete beginner, he didn't really understand anything that was going on. But as he gained more experience and learned more about Go, he started seeing the beauty of the game, eventually becoming a passionate Go player himself as well. And I think like most people watching that show, I was pretty inspired to try playing some Go myself as well. But man, starting out in that game has been such a difficult experience. Despite the simple rules, it seems as if I lose every game before I even realize it, without even really understanding what exactly went wrong. I do remember feeling a similar way when I got started with playing chess, but in chess I suppose I at least knew what went wrong when I lost. Which is why getting started with Go and getting better in the beginning feels almost impossibly difficult. Although, I did some research and apparently there is this ancient proverb associated with Go which tells to lose your first 50 games as quickly as possible. And after several days of losing pretty much every Go game, magically I started winning some and feeling as if I've improved without even really noticing it. And I feel like it serves as a great example of what it might take of us to cultivate passion in something. You essentially have to put in a lot of initial effort and patience before you unlock the experience or knowledge that will allow you to see the beauty in what you're pursuing. And to go on a little tangent, I would like to bring my machine learning adventure as an example. I had never really been interested in fields such as data science, AI, and things like that in general. But since machine learning was the new rising field, and things such as neural networks and deep learning sounded kinda interesting, I decided to get started with it out of curiosity. But the thing is, it took me about 6 months to a year of studying before I started actually seeing the actual wonders of the deep learning world. It required not only quite a lot of knowledge, but also experience and intuition before I was able to see the big picture. I also started being able to draw connections between various different concepts, which not only gave me ideas for experiments, but also some theoretical thoughts between things such as natural language processing and human language learning. But the interesting thing is that through studying deep learning, for the first time in my life, I started getting interested in academics, and even fields I didn't really like before, such as mathematics. It even went as far as to make me consider possibly getting a PhD in some field related to deep learning. Which is incredibly ironic since I probably hated school more than most people and couldn't have ever imagined myself even considering putting myself through something like that voluntarily. However, despite me having found a seemingly very considerable path of life, I ended up not taking it, and I haven't touched machine learning for quite a while now. But anyway, the point is, because I stick with trying to learn AI, despite being uncertain whether or not I actually like the field, I happen to discover things and interests that probably had a significant impact on my life so far. Finding new hobbies, activities, passions, and potential career paths may seem like something that usually happens by accident, but at the same time, you're much more likely to discover something if you actually put consistent effort towards finding it. And the more experience and knowledge you have, the less difficult finding something new and starting again will become. That being said, I've had a few hobbies I was interested in pretty much the moment I discovered them, such as video editing. But even that took a lot of effort, and I had to go through a series of failures before I was able to start creating stuff that I actually wanted to create. And that also applies to many activities which are meant to be inherently enjoyable, such as some sports and games. Because, I mean, how can you even enjoy something when you haven't reached the level at which it becomes enjoyable? Obviously, the skater who can do almost anything he wants, generally speaking, is having more fun than the person who just stepped on the board for the first time and disappointingly discovered that they can't even keep their balance. And how can you be intellectually passionate about something when you don't even know anything about it? Usually the people who are most passionate about something are also the ones who are really good at them. However, the journey which is required to reach those levels can be pretty difficult. Like I mentioned before, there is a reason why lose your first 50 games as quickly as possible is such an important saying in Go. But unfortunately, most people give up way before that, and because of that, they might never discover what they might be potentially passionate towards. Overcoming obstacles and hardships on the road onto which we have embarked on can be one of the most fulfilling phenomena we can experience. And from my own experience, I can say the same about learning Japanese, programming, video editing, drawing, and so on. Although, you might not always find what you seek in every activity. For example, I have tried getting into game development multiple times. I would love to create a game, build a community around it, and watch how it evolves over time. I also enjoy pretty much all the skills associated with game development, and I generally seem to have the patience to grind out long projects, which is pretty much required for creating video games. So it may seem like a perfect match, yet for some reason, despite having spent several hundred hours on trying and learning game development, I feel like the passion just isn't there, which can be problematic when it comes to such a passion-driven field. But I still feel like it's a bit too early to give up on it completely, so I might try again one day and see how it goes. So to conclude this video, don't give up if you haven't really found anything that has clicked with you yet, because it's not necessarily that you're not interested in anything, but instead that sometimes you truly have to dig deeper to find the hidden treasure. So if you ever get even slightly curious about something, or if you feel as if you could benefit from getting more seasoned in it, don't disregard it, as you might never know what it might lead you to.